What's up, everybody? My name is Shannon and I am still waiting for my Satyr, and today we are talking about Once and Future by Amy Rose Capetta and Cori McCarthy. You saw the thumbnail. You know where this is going. I picked up this book because look at this cover. Isn't it beautiful? It's such a beautiful cover. It's, a King Arthur retelling. It's set in the future. This time King Arthur is reincarnated into a girl. I was totally here for it. I wasn't expecting it to, blow me away or anything like that, but it sounded pretty cool. And I've been kind of on a fantasy romance binge, so I was like, ooh, a sci-fi adventure. That will be fun. That'll shake it up. And like I said, just look at this beautiful cover. This book is also written by a married couple. One is gender fluid, so I was kind of interested in seeing what the representation was going to be like in this book, because if you look on Goodreads, oh man, does this book get mixed reviews. It's kind of all over the place, but a lot of people do tend to mention the representation and not necessarily in a good way. So we are set rather far in the future. We have space travel, we're going to different planets, and King Arthur has been reincarnated 42 times. We are on the 42nd time. And this time he's been reincarnated into a girl named Cori. Right now they're living in a universe that's basically controlled by this giant mega corporation that her and her brother are trying to find their parents, all this crazy stuff. And then when she pulls the sword out of a tree and is suddenly King Arthur, who wakes up but none other than Merlin, but not, the old wizened bearded Merlin that we know. No, he's aging backward. He is a teenage boy with a raging case of hormones. So that's really the gist of this book, and what's really annoying about it is that it's like it's ticking boxes. It was very annoying. It's like it took everything that internet tells you is super woke and threw it all into one book, but then never took it any step farther. This book has pretty much every sexuality, a lot of different races. It's set so far in the future, so they are progressive to the point of calling out when Merlin misuses pronouns and all that kind of stuff. It's so surface level. It's literally if you feeded these words to a bot, it would just spit this out. All of these characters are really just their sexuality and maybe a little bit of their race. Not really, it's mostly just oh look, everybody's a different race, but that's really the only other thing that's differentiating them. But then other than that, we only learn about their sexuality. This book goes out of its way to remind you of everybody's sexuality every 2 seconds, and all of the ships are paired off almost immediately. It was fine, but it was just annoying because it's okay, I get it. From there, we really don't get anything else with these characters. The humor is very hit or miss. It was really kind of cringy and almost kind of there's this one scene in particular where, so one of the characters is gender fluid, and when Merlin wakes up, he misuses the pronouns for them, and they just dogpile on him. How dare you not know that this person and blah, blah, blah. And it was oh my God. And then Merlin goes out of his way to ask for everyone's preferred pronouns. And I was glad to see gender fluidity within this book, but reading, the Magnus Chase series by Rick Riordan, it just handles it so much better. And then when it came to these topics, these different sexualities and all of this different ideas of gender, this book just throws them out to you. It's throwing these terms out to you, but it's not really telling you what they are. So if this is your first glimpse into what any of this kind of stuff is, you're really not going to get it. The main thing that really gets me is asexuality is in this book, but it is so much of an afterthought. It's thrown in there to be oh, that's the other choice. We're all super horny and want to have sex, but this one person isn't, so she's the asexual one. I was just it's just really, really cringy. This story is bonkers bizarre. It goes in so many stupid, weird directions. The plot doesn't make any sense. Characters are suddenly appearing and being introduced, but we don't have any context for why they're there. The way these characters are doing things, it just was so irritating. And I don't like shitting on books. I don't talking negatively about a story because I feel there's something in it for everybody. But with this book, it literally just feels so like this is what the internet thinks we want when it's like, oh yes, we want, you know, more diverse characters, we want more diverse stories. Like, this ain't it. Like, this is not it. It just makes me really angry, and I just can't imagine anybody would find the representation refreshing in this book. I could be wrong. I have no idea. Like, obviously I am like a white female. I am asexual, so the asexuality stuff does bother me. But with everything else, you know, I can't really speak to that, but I can say that this is not how you do representation. Like, you don't just like throw that stuff in there without it impacting the story, without it impacting the cultures, without it impacting these characters. These characters don't have personalities. They are just like different races and different sexualities thrown all in together and like mixed up. It's really, really weird, and I am definitely like, I am not reading the next book in the series because of how this book ended off. No thank you. No way. I cannot do that. So if you've read Once and Future and you liked it, I would really love to hear your thoughts down in the comments down below. If you haven't read it, I do not recommend it. I am giving this book an F. I hardly ever give books an F. I gave it a 1 star on Goodreads. I'm just tired of it. I'm over it, and I'm ready to move on. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, be sure to hit that like button down below, and don't forget to subscribe so you can talk books with me every week. That is everything I got for today, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.